Another genetic disorder is hemophilia. Hemophilia is a condition where a person's blood clots very slowly or not at all. They do not produce one of the proteins that's needed for normal blood clotting in their blood. Small bumps and bruises may cause internal bleeding that can't be controlled. And so, like you see in this picture over here, uncontrolled bleeding would be like a nosebleed for someone that has hemophilia. Their blood doesn't clot, so it just continues to bleed. Sometimes, though, like we said, it can be in the bruising. Like here's a little kid, you can see its little face, its little arm, and this part of the arm, the elbow, is really large, a lot larger than normal. But that's because of the internal bleeding and the swelling that's associated with it. Hemophilia is caused by a recessive allele that's found on the X chromosome. And because of that, this is considered a sex-linked disorder. And it's a condition that occurs more frequently in males. And I have two videos to highlight or to share a little bit with you more about hemophilia. This is the first one.
It's a bleeding disorder that makes your blood hard to clot and causes internal bleeds.
If we take a heavy hit or fall.
I have it.
We have it.
Our brother has it.
Whoa! What is it?
Lots of people haven't heard of hemophilia.
Or any other bleeding disorders.
So here is some stuff you should know.
Bleeding disorders aren't very common.
Just like those M&Ms that come stuck together.
And while it mainly affects us boys, we can't forget about the ladies.
Sometimes we have it too.
It's important to be careful in physical activity.
And avoid the very intense stuff.
Like football.
Or alligator wrestling.
Is that even a real thing?
Psh, amateur.
And while it's important to be careful,
we're not just a bunch of bubble boys.
Hey!
Sorry, bubble girls.
Thank you. They are not fragile.
And we're not gonna die from a paper cut.
We just need to take our medicine.
Yeah, sometimes our arms get stiff.
Or you'll see us using a cane or a wheelchair.
But hey, comes with the territory. Just be respectful.
Because at the end of the day,
we're just regular teenagers.
Going to school.
Hanging around with my homies. Impressing the ladies.
Fail.
Perhaps if you want to learn more about our community,
search hemophilia on Twitter and introduce yourself.
Or you can visit our website, hemophiliafed.org.
I hope you had fun watching this video. And hey, thank you for watching.
Okay, and the second one is from Brain Pop, and it is on bruises.
Ow! Well, that's gonna leave a mark. Dear Tim and Moby, what makes a bruise so colorful? Thanks, Webster. A bruise, like the one that's forming on my arm right now, is a blue or purplish mark that you can see on your skin. It's also called a contusion. A bruise means that blood vessels have broken deep down under your skin. The purple-blue color is caused by red blood cells leaking out of those broken blood vessels. Oh, don't worry, it's usually not very much blood at all. A cut or a scrape is usually caused by a sharp object that breaks the skin, but a bruise where the skin isn't broken is usually caused by deep pressure or a blow from a blunt object. The life cycle of a bruise goes something like this. Let's say something hits you in the arm. You'll probably have a little bump, and the area will look red or purplish and feel pretty tender. Yeah, that hurts. The area may also swell from blood collecting under the tissue. After a couple of days, the mark will start to look kind of black and blue. The changes in color are caused by your body metabolizing or breaking down the red blood cells released from broken capillaries. It shows that your body is healing itself. After 5 to 10 days, the bruise may start to look greenish and yellow. It'll turn brown after 10 to 14 days, then just kind of fade out. Well, bruises go away faster or slower depending on how quickly your body heals. There's really not much you can do for a bruise, although putting on a cold compress or anything cold and damp can help the swelling go down. Yeah, thanks. A few factors can affect how easily you bruise. For one thing, bruising sometimes runs in families. And women usually bruise more easily than men. Older adults bruise pretty easily because there's less fat under their skin to offer protection. Certain medical conditions can also cause frequent bruising, like taking medicines that thin your blood, diseases like hemophilia, or a diet lacking vitamin C and K. But most bruises are nothing to worry about. Hey, why don't we play something a little less hazardous? Yep.
Okay. Another condition is Down syndrome, also known as Down syndrome trisomy 21. People with Down syndrome have an extra copy of chromosome 21 they have an extra chromosome on set 21 of their chromosomes. Instead of having a pair, they have 3 chromosomes. It most often occurs when chromosomes fail to separate properly during cell division, during meiosis. People that have Down syndrome typically will have some degree of developmental delay. They can also have heart defects. Those are quite common, but some of these can be treated. And here are some pictures of children that have Down syndrome that are born with them. And if you look at this karyotype right here, this whole picture, you see on this 21st set, instead of having 2 chromosomes, they have 3 chromosomes. Okay, this is one of my favorite videos to share with you on genetic conditions, and this is one specifically on Down syndrome.
Hi, my name's Rachel. I love my friend Savannah. I'm Savannah. I love my friend Rachel.
Hi, my name is Sam. My friend Bobby is cool.
Hi, I'm Bobby, and my friend Sam is the best.
Hi, my name's Alyssa. I like to hang out with my best friend, Butland.
Hi, I'm Brooke, and Alyssa is more than just a friend in my class. She's my best friend.
When you meet someone who's a little different from you, you might be scared or uncomfortable.
That's okay.
Because anything new is a little scary at first.
But once you learn more about it, you get used to it.
Because there you have knowledge.
And knowledge helps you understand.
And understanding makes it easier to accept.
All of us is different.
No one is exactly the same.
We all have our talents,
characteristics,
strengths,
and challenges.
I have Down syndrome.
I have Down syndrome.
I have Down syndrome.
I have extra chromosome.
Sam's cells divided in such a way that he ended up with an additional chromosome.
A chromosome is a thread-like structure within each cell. Most people have 23 pairs of chromosomes, for a total of 46. But a person born with Down syndrome has an extra chromosome.
Alyssa has a 3rd copy of chromosome 21. She has 47 chromosomes.
I have 46 chromosomes, and Rachel has 47.
Having an additional 3rd chromosome 21 is what causes Down syndrome.
It's called Down syndrome.
But I am not called Down syndrome. Down syndrome is not all that I am.
Down syndrome is not who Alyssa is. She's just Alyssa. She's a person.
Down syndrome is named after Dr. John Langdon Down, who first identified the syndrome in 1866.
Down syndrome is not Rachel's name or who she is. So please don't call her Down syndrome kid or Downs kid.
Because Sam is not a Downs kid. He's just a kid that happens to have Down syndrome.
I'm just a kid with Down syndrome.
Down syndrome is not a birth defect.
It's not a disease.
It's not contagious. It's not like a cold. You can't catch it.
And you can't get over it or cure it.
Down syndrome is just something I was born with.
It's something I live with. I will have it my whole life.
It's just one part of who I am.
Just one part of a beautiful self.
Who we are depends on our chromosomes. They are the building blocks of our bodies.
Chromosomes determine everything about people, from hair color to whether they are girls or boys.
Our chromosomes determine our hair color, eye color.
They determine how strong our muscles are and how well our memory works.
For example, my chromosomes give me blonde hair.
My chromosomes give me blonde hair too.
My chromosome gave me brown hair. And my also 3-point shot.
Just like our chromosomes give us our hair color, kids with Down syndrome may have similar physical traits.
I've noticed that some kids with Down syndrome have similar shaped eyes.
And noses.
It's just a part of Down syndrome.
Everyone with Down syndrome is their own unique person, with their own personality and traits.
There is a biography.
I'm my own person.
I'm my own awesome self.
When you have an extra chromosome, like Sam does, it may cause you to have muscle hypotonia or low muscle tone.
It makes it harder to move, react, stand up straight, and talk.
It's like trying to write with socks on your hands.
Sometimes I need some more time to put my books in my backpack or to zip up my coat. But I'm working hard to do the same things you do every day.
Kids with Down syndrome sometimes leave class to be with a therapist so that they can do the things that we do.
And they can do almost everything any other kid can do, including sports.
Sam took on one of our varsity players in a 3-point contest and won.
And Alyssa is awesome at cheerleading.
Low muscle tone doesn't just affect the muscles in your body, it also affects the ones in your mouth.
It's harder for Sam to control the muscles in his mouth.
Sometimes it's hard. Understand me, I talk.
It would be like saying something you really want to say with a mouthful of marshmallows. It's just harder to get out.
Kids with Down syndrome do speech therapy to help them talk better.
Because I have important things to say.
It will help me to talk well. I love acting and singing musicals. I've been with play so far. Some kids with Down syndrome have a hard time remembering things.
Down syndrome may make it harder to remember things that just happened, or things that people just said.
It makes it harder to think of things and focus for long periods of time.
Sometimes I have trouble remembering.
Sometimes I forget things.
Even though remembering things is hard sometimes, kids with Down syndrome still go to school and learn just like you. But they may need extra time or help.
Sometimes kids with Down syndrome may need to leave the classroom to learn more about things that you're learning.
My parent is Miss Speck. She's my teacher's helper. She's great.
Sometimes kids with Down syndrome need small breaks to give them time to get back on track if they get distracted.
I go for short walks during school so I can get my mind back on running.
It may seem like kids with Down syndrome are getting special treatment, but they aren't. They're just getting extra practice to help them learn.
And with that help, they can do great in school.
I love school and I'm in ILL.
I am a sophomore in high school. I am taking math and I am taking world geography.
I am taking Spanish this year. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien. I will graduate from high school this year.
Down syndrome may also make a difference in the way kids' eyes, ears, nose, and throat work. It may also affect how tall they grow.
Kids with Down syndrome may have some problem with seeing. That's why the type on Rachel's worksheets is sometimes bigger than mine.
Kids with Down syndrome might have trouble hearing.
Sometimes Sam doesn't do the things teachers ask him to do because he can't hear them.
Sometimes I have a hard time hearing.
And some kids have hearing aids to help them hear.
Some kids get tired easier and have trouble sleeping, which can make them groggy at school.
Some kids with Down syndrome have problems with their hearts.
It may make it harder for them to keep up on the playground or play sports. Some kids may even have to get surgery on their hearts.
With all these physical challenges, Sam has a lot to deal with.
But we all have stuff we have to deal with in our lives, and kids with Down syndrome are no different.
It's just part of what makes me who I am.
It's part of what makes me beautiful, selfish.
Once you learn what Down syndrome is, you get used to it. Because when you have the knowledge,
and you understand, it's easy to